Hi, my name is Mallory Simpson. I was born and raised in Northeast Ohio, but I've lived in North Carolina the last 8 years with my husband, who's active duty military, and our two children, a boy and a girl, 10 and 6. My hobbies include traveling, organizing. I like to take a very chaotic space and make it functional again, and crime TV. I like to watch a lot of crime TV. I'm currently pursuing an associate's degree in the arts of psychology. I would like to further my education and to get a bachelor's degree, master's, and hopefully a doctorate in the field of psychology. A life-changing event for me is when my grandma passed away. There was a specific event that happened around that time. My grandma was a very strong woman, and she was a Christian, and so that gave her, an extra strength. I spent a lot of time with her. I looked up to her. She was a part of my life and was supposed to be just a part of life. And I remember when she was first diagnosed, there wasn't really anything different about her. She carried it very well. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she kind of just got she got really sick. And it just kind of happened very quickly. She went downhill very quickly. And I remember they called hospice in, and so everything that she did on a daily basis was took place in one room of her house. She could not go to the second floor, and it was very hard seeing her that way. And I think I became I was in denial a lot of this time that she was going to be okay. We were planning a trip to Disney World. She was going to take her grandkids to Disney World, and just a lot of denial at the time. And so about 2 weeks leading up to her passing is when all the adults, the nurses and my aunts and uncles and my mom, they were all kind of just talking to her every day, like just encouraging her to let go. And, you don't have to be so strong. It's going to be okay. We're all going to be okay. Just let go. And this was like really annoying to me, I remember at the time, because it was almost like everybody was okay with her not being around. And I was really upset at them for that, but I'm like, she's gonna be fine. It's gonna be okay. Everybody's gonna see. And so for those 2 weeks, they just kept saying that. And I'm like, okay, she's gonna be okay. And then I went to go see her one day, and it was very, very sad. She was not my grandma. And, just the way that she looked, and she couldn't talk. Her eyes were just closed, and when she did open, she just wasn't herself. And, so I went home that night, and I just prayed, Lord, if it be your will that my grandma goes to be with you, then I am okay with it. And I don't know why I felt the need to say that to God, but it was almost like okay, I'm okay. But at the same time, I remember feeling like, okay, everything's gonna be okay now. You were just waiting for me to accept it and, be okay with it. But now I know you're gonna heal her. She's gonna be okay. And so I went to sleep and woke up the next morning, and it was about 7 o'clock, and my mom had called me and said that my grandma had passed. And it was almost like it was this just tunnel vision, like everything closed out around me, and I just like lost it. And so we had the funeral, and it just seemed like everybody was just okay. And as this time was going on, things were just building inside of me. And then I started feeling very angry at God, because he tricked me. I felt like he really tricked me. Like, Lord, here I was having all this faith in you, and I released her to you, and you took her. And if I would not have released her, you would not have taken her. And even if you were just waiting for me to be okay with it, at least I would have had a few more days with her. I wasn't ready. I really wasn't. And so I just felt really angry. And it felt like this wall went up. And I didn't really know how to process the emotions because I was a very young adult, and raised in a Christian home my whole life, and you just don't get angry at God. You don't. That's just something that you just don't do. And I remember one day I was home alone, and I just had these overwhelming feelings. And it was almost as if God was in the room with me, and he said, I know you're mad at me. Tell me. And I sat down on my couch, and I said 3 times, I hate you. And it was like that first time I said it, it was like, oh my goodness, I think I'm stepping into uncharted territory here that I'm not going to be able to go out from. This is it. And so I just said it again. I hate you, God. I hate you, at the top of my lungs. And then it was like a weight was completely lifted off my shoulders. And then immediately this something warm and heavy and strong wrapped around the top half of my body as if someone was hugging me. And I just rested in that, and I just cried and cried and cried. And then everything was okay after that. I was still sad and I was hurt, and I'm still sad and hurt to this day that my grandma is not around and that she's missing out on things. But it was like in that moment that changed my life forever, and my relationship with God was that he became very real to me in that time. He was not just this supreme being that we talk about and that's not very personal, but that day he became very personal to me and revealed himself to me in a way that I will never forget. And so that's it. Thanks.